I'm here with Gary Sabo. This gentleman has designed and developed, produced, manufactured all the products you see on the table tonight. He wants to spend a minute going over the products. He wants to start with his first thing that he came up with was a pad conditioner. And with that, I'm going to pass this over to Gary and let him tell you a little more about it. I'll probably ask you a few questions as they come to mind. But this is Gary Sabo, designer, producer, and
an auto body technician.
An auto body technician, and now he's getting into marketing.
Yep.
Thank you.
Thanks, Dick. Originally, when the foam pads first came out, there was really no easy way to clean them. This was probably the best way to clean them was with the brush. And what I found is compound became saturated at the center of the foam pads. You had a tendency to clean more towards the middle. So as you would clean towards the middle with this straight-handled brush, right now the pad would be rotating away from you if the pad conditioner was here. Well, as you clean towards the middle, it would have a tendency to pull you on to the side that's all of a sudden coming at you, and it would give you that jamming effect. And I've had the brushes fly out of my hand before. So it's just something that I figured, well, you know, we'll just keep using it. And I thought, well, you know, there has to be a better way. And so I looked around and I built a couple things. This was a prototype that I built.
How long have you been in developing of these products here?
This has actually been in development for 20 years.
20 years,
yep,
okay.
20 years.
Okay.
Yep. So this was one that I, being a kind of a body guy, made it out of wood and finished it with Bondo and painted it pretty and attached a brush to the top. And
looks
so
good.
I built, I don't know, probably 15, 20 of these and wore them right out. And so I thought, well, you know, it had such a unique use that I'll see about a patent claim on it. So I designed something that would use the natural motion of your wrist as you're cleaning towards the center, and you're brought onto the other side of the pad where the pad force is coming at you. This would counteract that force using the natural motion of your wrist and bringing it back to the side that's so-called amenable for cleaning.
The one I've seen the most out over the years is this.
Yeah.
That wouldn't work at all on one of these types of pads.
Nope, that would just shred the foam. This was more for wool pads.
For the wool pad,
yes,
okay,
so,
good.
Yep, this is more
now yours
for wool
works
pads.
on a wool pad as well?
This actually works on foam and wool pads, and what happens when you use it on a wool pad, it actually combs out the fibers of the wool and makes it fluffier, so you get a more refined pad. And in the long term, I think you get less swirl marks with a pad that doesn't have the nap matted together from compound.
Very good. Now I see you have several different types and sizes of pads here. Could you kind of tell us a little bit about those?
Certainly.
And what they were designed for? And
okay.
Maybe a little bit about how you came to develop these pads?
Yep. Originally with the foam pads, there was no center that was cut out. We took the center out in a conical shape to keep the compound out onto the working part of the pad.
Okay.
When the center is intact, what happens is as you're buffing, the compound is drawn towards the center of the pad, and the foam acts as a wick, and it will actually absorb the compound into the foam. So when you're buffing, you end up getting a lot of smearing, and you really never get a clean buffing surface.
Okay.
So what I did was I cut the center out, so you're taking out the dead zone in the foam, and now we have all working surface. So what happens through centrifugal force is the compound is forced out onto the working portion of the pad where there is heat generated and it can actually do the work.
Well, is this a point that might save you a little bit of money in the long run?
You will use
compound costs.
I find it does. You do use less compound because
that's
the
a good
compound
point.
that you are using is being fully utilized rather than being absorbed into the foam. It has a rounded edge, which actually fits into a lot of the style lines on today's cars, and it's not a real sharp edge.
Okay.
Some of the pads have more of a sharp edge, which on clear coat finishes, if you're buffing a newer clear coat finish, you could actually cut into the clear because it's like a razor blade. You figure if this is spinning at 1,500 or 2,000 RPM.
Is this the final pad here? Is this the one The last one, or
This
green,
is
the light cut? Okay.
Yeah, this is a light cut pad.
I like this
Yeah.
where you've got tells you what pad is
Yeah,
good for what.
Yeah, on the back we have all 4 pads, and the yellow pad is more of an aggressive pad. That's for, say, fiberglass.
Oh, okay.
Or maybe a heavily oxidized painted surface.
Gel coat surfaces.
Gel coat surface, yeah. That
Very
one you
good.
might want to be careful on clear coat because it's pretty aggressive.
I understand.
The white pad, that's more designed as a swirl remover type of a pad. You may use that on more of a cured clear coat finish.
Okay.
As with the green, that's basically a swirl remover pad or light cut pad. That one you could probably use on more of a fresh clear coat finish.
Okay. Very good.
And the black, that is our finish pad.
Okay, that's a lot
that's
softer.
That's a wax pad or polish
nice.
pad. And
nice and soft.
it works real well.
And you can use your conditioner on all these, including
the
the
pad
soft
conditioner works well on all of them.
Oh, that's great. Okay. And I see you have backing pads for them also.
Yeah, we
You
have a
developed
backing
those
pad.
too?
We did.
Oh, that's good.
Can you try to line that up for me?
I think I can. I got stuck on my sweater there, but yeah, that works.
Is that pretty easy?
Yeah, if I can do it, anybody
There
can.
you go. Well, what we did, Dick, was we put a hole in the middle,
that's nice.
7/8 hole in the center, and then we put the same size hole in the backing disc to line it up. So it's kind of a no-brainer. It's a one-time alignment system, and you have a choice. You can align it through the front, or you can align it through the back, because the back is also the back is also recessed to fit right in there, and it's just a one-shot deal.
Good.
The back is also recessed to protect the backing disc from the painted surface. So if you're buffing in a tight area, a wheel opening, or around a door handle, or something that you have to really be careful, you don't have to worry about the backing disc becoming too close to the surface you're working on.
Okay.
Some of the nice features about this pad are it has the recessed back, so the backing pad is hidden when you're buffing. It keeps it away from the painted surface.
Right.
And it has a 1.5-inch working surface on the side, where if you want to buff a wheel opening or tip it on its side and buff a hard-to-reach area, this side is also usable. The rounded edge, it is nice for the nice tight corners in some of these style lines on the newer cars.
Right.
It doesn't have the knife-like edge,
I
where
understand.
when you're spinning the buffer at a high RPM, that rounded edge, if it is too sharp, it acts like a blade, and it can actually cut into the clear coat.
Especially on fresh clear coat.
Yeah. The main feature is the DRC, which is the diagonally recessed center.
Okay.
And that is a cutout in the shape of a cone, and we eliminated that section of the pad. What happens here is the compound is actually forced out onto the working surface of the pad, where the work is actually done. This is where the heat is generated on the pad. The center portion is pretty much a dead zone, and that will pretty much just smear the compound around if there is a foam section in the center.
Okay.
So we eliminated that in order to get the compound out where it's fully utilized.
Right.
And,
Very good.
Yep. And there are 4 different grades. There's the yellow, the heavy cut, which would be for fiberglass or a heavily oxidized surface. Very aggressive. You would probably want to be very careful on a clear coat surface. You can take out 1,500 to 2,000 grit scratches with the yellow pad. Yeah. You can color sand, and you can actually use the yellow foam for compounding. But it is an aggressive pad, so you may want to be careful.
Very good.
We have the white foam, which is more of a swirl remover type of a foam. Yep, like
Yep,
that.
right, this one. Okay.
And that is more used on more of a clear coat that might be a cured finish.
Okay.
Because it is still a little aggressive. If you have more of a clear coat that is not quite cured or fully cured and you still need to get on it and buff, the green foam works well on that. It's a little less aggressive, but it does work very well for a swirl remover. And then finally the black foam for finish, for polish and wax and final finish work.